Before starting the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and like the video. Thanks for your support. Now let's go to the video. The Dakar Rally is a grueling off-road race that started in 1979. Beginning in Paris and ending in its namesake today, the Dakar is mostly in name only. But the challenging aspect of racing across thousands of miles of forbidding deserts remains the same. With its new mid-size pickup truck launched, Ford is entering the 2024 and 2025 runnings with the new global platform Ranger Raptor truck. While this isn't the first time this effort has been announced, a North American Ford fan will wonder why they didn't just enter the Bronco DR as its T1 entry, especially after its troubles with Blue Oval's original 2023 Dakar plans. Let's break it down. What is the Dakar Rally and the T1 Plus class? If you're unfamiliar with Dakar and what Ford had planned for 2023, first, the class that Ford is entering, the Ranger Raptor, and is called T1 Plus and is the ultimate level for the car's categories. This class is mostly open with very small restrictions on what can be entered. Like the NASCAR Ford Mustang GT, the Ranger Raptor T1 Plus is a silhouette vehicle. You can sort of think of it like the stock cars of NASCAR, where the stock part is really only in the shape of the body and the chassis is a ground-up and bespoke tube frame design. Just like you won't find a two-door Camry TRD, you won't find a Ranger in the same shape as the T1 Plus entry from Ford with its butterfly doors, very truncated bed, and independent suspension rear axle. Not exactly a new truck either. Second, this is technically a carryover from 2022, unfortunately. Supply chain issues hampered its development for the Ford Neil Woolridge Motorsport and M-Sport collaboration. That's why the 2024 truck will be running with the 2022 Ranger Raptor design, as those issues have been solved. For the next Dakar Rally, this will be the only race on this body style and chassis, as in 2025. The trio will then have a new chassis developed for the current version of the Ranger Raptor body. This year's truck will also run the 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged EcoBoost V6, which might also be its only run. The 2025 truck engine hasn't been decided just yet. If supply chain was an issue, why not run the Ford Bronco DR? Though, with that in mind, why not run the Bronco DR? It's Ford's factory-built race truck made for desert racing. And with the 2024 Dakar being run in Saudi Arabia, wouldn't it be the better choice for 2024? Not quite. As Global Director of Ford Performance Motorsports, Mark Rushbrook explains, the T1 Plus class and truck are a pretty big departure from what the Bronco DR is, said Rushbrook. The Bronco DR is a fantastic off-road truck, and it's great for customers to be able to buy that and enter in other races and other classes, but not what we would want to compete with at Dakar. A global race requires a worldly vehicle. The Dakar is a global race, and in Ford's eyes, the Bronco DR makes more sense for an American market, whereas the Ranger is more broad. Could the Bronco DR race in the Dakar and in T1 Plus? Possibly. But from a strategic marketing perspective, the DR doesn't make sense. It could do it, right? The other problem is that the Bronco DR isn't quite made for a multiple-day event in the same way the Ranger Raptor T1 Plus will be. The Dakar treks over more than just the open desert environment that the Baja 1000 and Mint 400 are best known for. The 106.86 miles of Saudi Arabian landscape features very sandy environments, and, this year, the dunes of the empty quarter will play host to a new stage format, the 48-hour chrono stage, the camping trip in the middle of a race. During this 2-day marathon stage, the race will end at 4 p.m. Saudi time, and the vehicles will stop at the next closest bivouac, the 8 temporary spots the teams are able to camp overnight at. Due to it being considered a marathon despite the stoppage, there won't be any support vehicles, and the only people allowed to work on the vehicles are the two-person driver team. The competitors are allowed to help each other during the 48-hour chrono. You won't know who's actually ahead of you until the end of that stage. At 7 a.m. local the next day, all vehicles will start racing once again. There are always challenges in any race. Ford knows that this twist to the usual Dakar is going to be a challenge within itself. Yeah, that's part of what we're preparing for, said Rushbrook. Really understanding what the logistics are or what the potential scenarios are, and being prepared to react to them, and that's the same in every kind of racing. You've got to know what the different scenarios are, and be prepared to react to any of them because, at this level, you can't be unprepared. The 48-hour chrono requires more than just spare parts. While the Bronco DR is capable of carrying some repair supplies and emergency kit, the empty quarter combined with the marathon constraints of the 48-hour chrono just don't suit the design of the factory Bronco race truck. The Ranger Raptor T1 Plus is better suited. Even so, the experience of racing in Score, Best in the Desert, and even racing in the Tats Fink Desert race all add up to help develop the off-road program for the 2024 Dakar. It does to a degree, said Rushbrook, because anytime you race anywhere, you learn something and you become sharper and smarter. And we've got a lot of the same people involved in those past programs involved in the Dakar program. The 2024 Dakar is approaching faster than you think. The 2024 Dakar Rally will start on January 5th and run until the 19th. It marks the 46th running of this legendary rally raid, with the looming challenge of the empty quarter in Saudi Arabia. This year's challenge will potentially be one of the toughest yet in the modern era of the Dakar.